Welcome, Gemini. This reading is for January. Both the energy going in, the energy of the month, and the energy leading forward towards the rest of the year. The insight into what we can look forward to the rest of the year. I'm doing this much like I do most of my monthly readings. I am doing it from a spiritual, a physical, and an emotional or mental level. All right. And let's see here. What do we have to look forward to for January, the beginning of 2022 for Gemini? So the first cards I'm laying down are really your energy going into January. I feel like you are being pulled in different directions throughout December, and that is reflecting your energy going into the month. Perhaps a little bit of overindulgence, whether that is food, money, alcohol, whatever you choose, whatever it is for you. It does feel like there is sort of this you need to make things right. Sometimes we'll go to an extreme. Is the way I'm being told that. And this is something that you are aware of and you are battling, because this comes in on your spiritual level. When I see, and don't be alarmed by this is the Devil card. When I see this coming in like this, it generally means these are self-imposed behaviors that tend to clog you up or bring you down. They are things that it can be anxiety, it can create anxiety, it can create fear, it can create low energy, it can health issues, all of these things. So be aware of it as you are coming out of December, to really stop and assess your own personal being. It does feel a bit like you have been, physically you're exhausted. That's what it feels like to me. And there is sort of this sitting back on your resources. You know, you have I see you've done it. You've done what you wanted to do. You've accomplished it all, and you're sort of living in that energy of, yes, I accomplished it, but the energy that it took to get there has not been an easy one. And in this case, you know, mentally you're ready to walk away from that energy. Definitely, you know, we've got the Eight of Cups here. It does feel like you are, okay, I'm done with that. Time to move on. It's as if you picked a goal to show that you could do something, and now you're like, did it, accomplished it, check it off my list. I'm exhausted, I'm battle weary, I'm done, time to move on. And really, that's represented in the Knight of Wands here, as well as, you know, okay, yep, we've done that battle, that is over. I am ready to move on, and let's get this train moving. And here's that ending. Here's the Death card, which is about endings. It's getting rid of things to make way for new things, right? So you have accomplished this goal, you've set this. There is this sort of feeling that maybe you realize that what you were trying to accomplish isn't what it's meant to be, as if to say that there is, this can mean seeking refuge. It can also mean seeking enlightenment to me. And that's what it feels like to me. It feels like whatever it was that you set out to do, it didn't give you, it showed you that you could do it, but it was not anything that's going to give you long-term fulfillment. And I think that because of that, you need to look at that and see, it does feel like you are coming to the end of a cycle. I do see, and by cycle, I mean, it feels like you've sort of got this, you have the devil spiritually, you have the death card mentally, and then there is this, which is a separation. This is under your spiritual being. It can mean heartbreak. It can mean the ending of an old belief system. Knight of Wands is looking towards the past. And I think that, you know, instead of sitting on your laurels, it's telling you to move forward, definitely. King of Pentacles says you have all the resources that you need to be able to carry that forward. But it also is not a very... You're not being kind enough to yourself about the whole thing. Yes, something ended, and this could be a relationship, or this could even be, it does sort of feel like a relationship, but it could be a relationship within a job, a friendship, romance. And I don't do romantic readings, so, but it's the end of a relationship. It's the end of something that may not have had its best interest in you. Perhaps you set yourself up in a certain way so that on paper everything looks good. That's what I'm hearing. On paper everything looks good, but underneath it, there's definitely some need for looking at what really matters. In the end, you have the Justice card. So, and in this case, this means you're putting an end to whatever this is that didn't suit you any longer. It definitely feels like that. It feels like you're just done with it. Okay. All right. All right. So we're going to pull some clarifying cards. Let's pull some cards from the Shaman's Dream Oracle, I believe it is. Basically what this is saying is going into January, you're sort of done with this situation. The new year, new energy. Throughout it all, you're letting go of January is for you is going to mean letting go of sort of that old ideal, that old model in your head that you seem to think that you needed. So it really is sort of it's the beginning of a new cycle in your life. And we all go through these stages in our lives. We all have periods where we're focused on our spiritual growth, periods where we are developing ourselves in certain ways. And so, or seasons, that's really what this is about, is you're graduating from one season to another. It's asking you to have grace with yourself. And it's interesting because I didn't hear it. I saw a quote this morning that was talking about grace being, when you make a mistake, grace has already got you covered. Grace is telling you that it's a lesson. Mistakes are not, I say mistakes, I hate that word. basically, when you do something that doesn't turn out well, it's a lesson. And perhaps that lesson is whether you believe it or not, it's up to you. It's my belief system that when we come here, we're coming here to learn things and to correct things that we may have not necessarily gotten right in a previous life. And this is definitely time to do that lesson, finish that lesson, put an ending on it, put the stopper in the bottle is what I'm being told, and to move on. The other card I pulled was time for replenishment. And if you look at this really does look like a very spiritual card. You have this sort of looking into a well, and it feels like the reading that I get as a whole says it feels like you're at the end of a physical cycle in your life where what meant to you was physical and you are moving on to a much more spiritual or mental part of your life. And that's not to say that you just drop everything that you have and move on. It's saying that you take the pieces that you need and you get rid of the parts that you don't and you move forward. It's about balance, but you need to get yourself in the right headspace for that, because I feel like what is coming for you is and this just feels like further on down the road. Well, let's do a card on that, shall we? What is the focus for Gemini at the end of January going onward with the rest of the year? What do they need to know? It feels like this is sort of setting you up for something else, which, you know, makes sense. Enlightenment. Okay, so the moon is all about shadows and secrets, but it's also about seeing things in a different light to me. And that's kind of what we're dealing with here. You know, you're in a cycle. This is the Wheel of Fortune. Things go up and around and up and down and up and down. You may be at the top, but then you might end up at the bottom later on. But you can guarantee when you hit that bottom, you're still going to come up around. It's continuously moving. And it says to temperance your actions. So I would say throughout this year, it's looking like you are coming to grips with some information that is going to be coming. This is going to be a spiritual growth year for you. And that's a very vague and big possibility right there. Can you give me why? What is it that Gemini, it's too varied for everybody. Everybody has these things that they're working on, even Gemini within that, you know, but focus more on spiritual side of it. And just, it's saying to trust your intuition is basically what I'm getting. That when you trust within yourself and you pay attention to those voices within you, you will be able to move forward with it. Okay. All right. So that is it for that. And I hope this helps, Gemini. This is, I know it's a strange reading, but I hope it gives some insight, and we'll go ahead and end this here. But if if there's, I think it's right. When I come down to the end of it and it says, trust your intuition, that thing that guides you inside is what's going to lead you through this. And it doesn't say that it's always going to be easy. It seems like, and you're not alone. There's a lot of people going into January, February, May who are going to find themselves sort of challenged. But the challenge is not in the physical, but in the spiritual. So keep that in mind, that this is just a cycle. It's that Wheel of Fortune. It's a cycle, and it does continue. So yeah. All right. I hope you all are safe. I hope you're well, and I'm sending blessings from Maine. Bye-bye.